important topic because we are, as Scott outlined, the talk would be titled, Betting on American Industry, and all of you to really deliver on that future. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today, but I do want to begin with a solemn reminder of the great risk involved in all of exploration, including space exploration. Today is, as Scott mentioned, our annual Day of Remembrance, a time we set aside once a year to honor the men and women who have lost their lives in pursuit of the knowledge and benefits that can really only be obtained through human spaceflight. So about 2 hours ago now, Charlie Bolden, the administrator of NASA, who has in fact risked his own life, both as a Marine combat pilot as well as a NASA astronaut, laid a wreath at Arlington Cemetery to mark the 10th anniversary of the loss of the 7 brave men and women during the disintegration of the Columbia as she returned from her 27th mission. Today we also honor the fallen 7 heroes of the 1986 Challenger crew who perished shortly after takeoff, and the 3 Apollo 1 crew members who lost their lives in the fire on the launch test pad in 1967. These brave men and women remind us that the technological advancements and exploration of the unknown is in fact a dangerous business. America owes a great deal of gratitude to all those who have given their lives in this noble pursuit and all those who are taking those risks today. Last year we lost 2 additional heroes, Neil Armstrong and Dr. Sally Ride. So Neil will forever be remembered, of course, as the first human to step onto another celestial body. Sally will always be remembered as the first American woman in space, but deserves a special mention today, not just because of her 3 degrees from Stanford, right? 1 in English and 2 in physics. But I actually don't believe we'd be here without Sally. And by here, I don't just mean Stanford. I mean as far along as we are with commercial crew, the topic that you asked me to speak about. So her participation really in the Augustine Committee, along with Ed Lieu, who'll be talking to you later, and their, I'm sorry, Ed was not on it, and the recommendation to place our bet on U.S. industry to carry astronauts to and from space gave this concept a lot of credibility and gave us the confidence to pursue this policy. And I'll be forever grateful, and I miss her. I'll talk a bit about that more later, but all these explorers, their expertise, their dedication, and sacrifice is really a big reason NASA continues to lead the world in space exploration today. And I just want to put a note here that we do, in fact, lead the world in space exploration today. NASA's budget is $17.7 billion. That's 12, that's 13 in a CR. We're very hopeful that we will continue at about that level. If you total up every other space agency on the planet, including Russia, China, Japan, all of Europe, Canada, South America, they equal 3/4 of NASA's budget. So don't believe that America has turned its back on our civil space program. And 2012 was an especially impressive year. So I can't pass up the opportunity before we get to our exact topic to share some of our accomplishments over the years since I'm out here at Stanford. I don't think I've spoken here before. My admissions letter must have gotten lost in the mail, along with my 2 sons who are in college. But they're very impressed that I'm speaking here. So, as you know, in August, we completed the most challenging mission in the history of robotic planetary exploration with a landing of the rover named Curiosity on the surface of Mars, carrying the highest powered scientific capability of anything ever sent to the surface of the planet. This robotic laboratory is now seeking answers to humanity's oldest questions, including whether life has or does exist beyond planet Earth. And of course, we're not done with Mars. The MAVEN mission that will study the Martian atmosphere and was built by Lockheed Martin is currently being tested at their facilities in Denver. Will be launched later this year. And we just announced another rover mission to Mars in 2020. And of course, participating with Europeans in their 16 and 18 missions. And last July, NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida welcomed the arrival of the agency's first space-bound Orion capsule, making a major milestone in the construction of that spacecraft. also built by prime contractor Lockheed Martin, that will carry astronauts farther in space than ever before. The Orion capsule that's at Kennedy will launch on EFT-1, an uncrewed mission test in 2014, just a year and a half away. And NASA's the prime industry, and its prime industry partners Boeing, ATK, and Pratt & Whitney are also making swift progress on the Space Launch System, the SLS, testing and developing new components and improving on existing hardware, leading our planned test flight in 2017 that will take us back around the moon. So we're also advancing cutting-edge science missions, including so much progress with our lead contractor, Northrop Grumman, on the development of the James Webb Space Telescope. Scheduled for a 2018 launch on an Ariane launch vehicle, the JWST will be the most powerful space telescope ever built and will allow us to study every phase of the history of the universe. I want to say it like Bill would say it, the history of the universe. Get you ready for lunch, for the lunch talk. Our aeronautics program is collaborating with other government agencies and the private sector, partnering to advance the state of the art of aviation, and with the goal of helping to make air travel safer, greener, and more efficient.